Egypt, officially the Arab Republic of Egypt, is located in North Africa and West Asia. You have always known that this is a country of mummies and pyramids, with a history that ranks among the oldest. However, that is just one corner. Have you ever admired belly dancers, a specialty of the country with 90% Muslim population? Is this hell or heaven for women? What unreasonable impositions have women and girls had to endure? And blah blah. New and interesting facts about Egypt are waiting for you to discover in the video 7 Strange Things Only in Egypt. Let's explore with top 10 mysteries. Admire the belly dancer performance. An indispensable specialty in Egypt is belly dancing, which makes men lose their way. This half-noble, half-heretical art form is considered an extremely valuable traditional beauty, starting from India and spreading to the Middle Eastern countries. With fiery, passionate, and liberal dances, girls seem to be liberated to the utmost from the constraints in their souls. The costumes at this time are no longer closed, but will reveal many places such as the waist, belly, arms. The highlight is the pants, either loose, tight, or slightly flared pants, with the upper part stretched or elastic to easily perform abdominal movements. However, it still has to be regulated that the places that need to be covered must still be covered. If you violate it, it's over. For example, during a performance at a nightclub in Giza, Egypt, dancer Ekaterina Andreeva, 31 years old, was accused of dancing sexy and not wearing underwear. In the end, Andreeva was temporarily banned from performing by the police and was released on bail equivalent to $250. In June 2020, famous Egyptian belly dancer Sama El Masri was accused of posting erotic and debauched videos. As a result, she was sentenced to 3 years in prison and fined $18,500. And also involved in drama with Vietnam when in July 2021, a Vietnamese female citizen was murdered for unknown reasons in the New Cairo district after entering Egypt to work as a belly dancer. Do you dare to affirm that you know everything about the pyramids? The next thing is a surprise. Little-known facts about the pyramids. Everything is afraid of time, but time is afraid of the pyramids. Among them, the biggest big brother is the Giza Pyramid, which took nearly 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing from 2 tons to 50 tons. Many of you ask if there is a way inside. The answer is yes, it is a rather small stone door, only enough to hold an adult. Next, we have to mention the strange temperature inside the pyramid. Although it is very hot outside, inside the pyramids, the temperature is always stable at around 20 degrees Celsius. According to the history book of world civilization, scientists brought rusty coins into the pyramid, and after more than 1 month, those coins became shiny and brand new. They continued to bring a cup of fresh milk into the pyramid, and after 1 month, the taste and color of the milk remained unchanged, or the fruit brought in for half a month was still very fresh, not dehydrated, dried up, or spoiled. That is still a historical mystery that no scientist has been able to explain. Next is the misconception that the pyramids are only in Egypt. In fact, there are pyramids in the Western Hemisphere, such as in Mexico. The Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, Mexico is located along the Avenue of the Dead, and the moon is located at the end of the Avenue of the Dead, where the road ends. Notably, the Pyramid of Cholula in Mexico is the largest monument on the planet, with a foundation layer 4 times larger than the largest Pyramid of Giza in Egypt and nearly twice the volume. Cholula is 450 meters wide and 66 meters high, the size equivalent to 9 Olympic swimming pools. There is also the Kukulkan Pyramid, which is also very mysterious. It is arranged like a Russian doll. A 10-meter-high structure is located in a structure with an average height of 20 meters and is covered with an outermost layer. The structure has a pyramidal structure with 9 floors. The interesting thing is that if you just clap your hands outside at the foot of the pyramid, you can hear the echo from inside like the song of the Quetzal, a sacred bird of the Mayans. If you shout or beat a drum outside the tower, you will also hear sounds completely different from clapping. Many people think that Egypt is the country with the most pyramids in the world, but that is wrong. The total number of pyramids in Sudan is currently 255, which is almost double the number of 138 in Egypt. Finally, one of the prohibitions at the ancient Egyptian pyramids is the prohibition of taking indecent and disrespectful photos. In December 2020, model Salma al-Shimi and her photographer were arrested after a photo shoot at the 4,700-year-old Djoser Pyramid in Saqqara for wearing revealing, tight-fitting clothes and posing in front of the archaeological site. In early 2020, a travel blogger was imprisoned for 5 days in Egypt after climbing an illegal pyramid. Ortiz from Germany also climbed the 4,500-year-old pyramid to get the widest angles and photos and was then arrested and taken to the police station. So when you come to a solemn place, your actions must be proper, guys. And you think Egypt only has sand and pyramids? No, it's no different from our city. Specifically how the life of Egyptian people is special. Let's find out with top 10 mysteries in the next content. Amazed by daily life in Egypt. Dear friends, among the current countries, Egypt has the longest history, dating back to the 10th millennium BC. With a population of 111 million people, don't think they only hang around the sandbanks and pyramids. In fact, about half of Egypt's population lives in urban areas, densely populated centers. Even the tallest building in Africa, the iconic tower, is 393.8 meters high with 77 floors, also in the capital Cairo. When you go to the markets, you will be shocked to know that the sellers encourage tourists to bargain, because this is a cultural feature of Egypt. A souvenir can be bargained down 5-10 times. However, the meat dishes in Egypt will have a characteristic foul smell that not all tourists dare to try. Most dishes in Egypt revolve around grilling, frying, or mixing. In addition to goat and beef, which are the majority, chicken is also consumed but less. The economy of this country is not good either, with about 60% of the Egyptian population being poor, while our friend Qatar is considered the richest country in the world, with an annual GDP per capita exceeding 105,000 USD, or 2.6 billion VND. The economic situation in Egypt is so bad that the government requires people to eat chicken feet, the worst-selling meat, and chicken feet are considered the cheapest meat, which most people in this country consider to be more waste than food. Oh, if only Egyptians knew about chicken feet soaked in lemongrass and chili, chicken feet with Thai sauce, fried chicken feet with fish sauce, and chicken feet salad, they would run out of dipping sauce and dip. In addition, this country was also protested when there was a regulation that foreigners were only allowed to own no more than 2 properties in Egypt and were required to live in 2 different cities. If we talk about costumes, you will probably be shocked compared to what you imagined. Specifically, what is it like? Let's continue with number 5. The type of clothing that makes Europe bored. In ancient Egypt, men and women wore almost the same attire, a knee-length white dress with a belt. Either the rest of the body was left bare or the chest was covered. Egyptians at this time had the habit of using a wooden, ivory, or stone pen to apply black coal to their eyelids. In modern times, men would choose the galabia, an ankle-length robe, along with a turban, hat, or scarf, while young men would wear normal Western clothing. As for women, it was more strict. Either a head covering or a skirt that reached to their feet. You would not be allowed to walk down the street in shorts and flip-flops, and never go to a shopping mall in a swimsuit, because you would be arrested immediately. Many European countries also prohibit women from wearing the hijab to swim, a traditional Islamic costume that covers the entire body, including the head, and only exposes the face. If you happen to be in France in August 2016, when the Palme d'Or Film Festival was taking place, there was a ban on women wearing burkinis when swimming in the sea or in public pools. Anyone who does not comply will be fined 38 euros. If you do not know, this is a swimsuit for Muslims. Unlike a burkini covers from head to toe, except for the face, hands, and feet, just enough to not violate Islamic law, but still light enough for the wearer to swim comfortably. In 2011, France also became the first country in Europe to ban women from wearing burqa, a veil that covers the entire face, and niqab, a veil that covers part of the face. So it is enough to understand that Europe and Egypt cannot get along. One is liberal, the other is closed off. Just like Sweden prohibits picking up food, while India requires eating with hands. In addition, under the regime of former President Hosni Mubarak, there was an unofficial ban that Muslim women working in Egyptian television were not allowed to appear on camera if they wore headscarves or veils. When Egypt overthrew the government of Hosni Mubarak, 70% of Egyptian women wore headscarves, including female newscasters. In addition, due to the influence of Europe and America, many young girls refused to wear traditional Muslim long dresses. As I asked you at the beginning, is Egypt a hell or a paradise for women? And the following content will answer you. Hell, the obsession of women. If ancient Egyptian women had the right to rule and had fair marriage contracts, today it is an undeniable fact that 99.3% of women have been sexually harassed. 98% of foreign women visiting Egypt are also victims of harassment. The reason is simply because the girls wear a sleeveless shirt, a skirt, or even a patterned outfit. The injustice comes from the Quran when it dedicates a whole chapter to women. In chapter 4, verse 34 of the Quran, it is written, "Men are the protectors and maintainers of women, because Allah has made one of them to excel the other, and because they spend to support them from their means. Therefore the righteous women are devoutly obedient to Allah and to their husbands, and guard in the husband's absence what Allah orders them to guard, e.g. their chastity and their husband's property. As to those women on whose part you see ill conduct, admonish them first, next refuse to share their beds, and last, beat them lightly if it is useful." During the protests against President Mubarak, there were reports of the military conducting virginity tests on female protesters. Then on November 28, 2018, Egyptian actress Rania Youssef wore a black see-through dress to attend the closing ceremony of the Cairo Film Festival. As a result, two lawyers, Amro Abdel Salam and Samir Sabri, decided to file a lawsuit against the actress because she did not meet the requirements of traditional moral and social values, affecting the image of Egyptian women. Here, female workers are often paid less than their male counterparts, and it is also more difficult to find a job. In the past, women in Egypt had their genitalia partially or completely removed and faced life-threatening situations when many people were prone to shock due to severe pain or excessive bleeding. 87% of women aged 15-49 in Egypt are forced to do it, including 14% of girls under the age of 14. It is a mandatory ritual for girls before marriage. The purpose is to reduce the risk of women having sex before marriage or having extramarital affairs after marriage. Fortunately, this practice was officially banned in Egypt in 2008, but it still exists in many areas, and very few cases are brought to court. Do you know what the garbage capital looks like? It's like this, guys. Egypt's garbage capital. Coming to the Egyptian capital Cairo, you will immediately recognize its two opposite sides. On one side is New Cairo with its high-rise buildings, while the other side is shabby, and pitifully dark. Accordingly, the Manshiat Nasser district, about 554 square kilometers wide, is a slum with a population of about 60,000 people, known as Garbage City. The stuffy air, combined with the stench of decay and the extreme temperatures of hot days and cold nights, make the smell of decomposing food even worse, making you feel nauseous when you come here. So it is no surprise that flies buzz around every corner. When you come here, you will know the word Zabaleen, which means garbage people in Arabic, to refer to the people living in this area. Despite its old appearance, the effectiveness of the Zabaleen's recycling system is no joke. Nearly 90% of the waste is recycled, 4 times the rate achieved by most Western recycling companies, and 60,000 people clean up the trash for nearly 20 million people here. For decades, they have collected valuable waste to sell and organic waste to feed livestock. However, there are still many fresh fruit stalls interspersed in dirty, dusty residential areas. You will also see the largest mosque in the Middle East and admire the giant mural made from more than 50 houses spread over 300 meters, created by French-Tunisian street artist El Cid. Of course, food is the key to religion, and in the capital, Cairo, you will see some strange dishes. For example, fulmedames, mulukhia, hawashi, kushari, falafel, and then koshari. Finally, the outrage at witnessing the cruel treatment of animals. Outrage at animal cruelty. Injustice exists not only in humans but also in animals. Everyone knows that Egypt worshipped many animals, of which cats were at the top. And the goddess Bastet was a woman with a cat's head, representing joy, warmth, and affection. The time when the cat goddess became a symbol of this religion coincided with the period when the first cats were domesticated in Egypt. In ancient Egyptian civilization, people were not allowed to keep cats. Only pharaohs, considered the embodiment of gods on earth, could keep cats as pets, and gold had to be worn around their necks. When a cat died, all family members would mourn by shaving their eyebrows to show their grief. If someone killed a cat, even unintentionally, that person would be cursed and could be thrown into a pit full of poisonous snakes. When a fire broke out in the house, it goes without saying that cats would be the first priority to be saved. In 1888, a farmer discovered 80,000 mummified cats in a large tomb. Does that mean they have the right to discriminate and torture other animals? The most outrageous scene was the brutal beating of camels because their owners wanted them to serve tourists. From having one leg tied to prevent them from running away, to being tied near the pyramids, and then being beaten when they were forced to stay in line. Imagine how overworked the camels must be with 13 million tourists, and in hot, dry weather. In addition, the emaciated horses panted and strained to pull the tourist-laden carts up and down the slopes, some of them slipping and falling painfully. So many charities urge tourists to be alert to signs of malnutrition and to refuse to ride in carts where owners beat their animals. This is a strange country, right? Thank you for watching the video. After watching the video, what impressed you most about Egypt? Leave your comments in the comments section. Don't regret giving Top 10 Mysteries one like and one subscribe. And now, goodbye and see you in the next videos.